わりなき闇を知れ。
Hello
and welcome to the Fusion Grandmaster tutorial. I'm sorry that this took a month to get out, but I had an entire essay to do at school which counted towards our final. It was a long essay, but we're here now, so let's just get right into this. As I've said before, the main point of Fusion is to get the largest chain possible, but you could also try to ruin your opponent's chances for that by using Fusion harassments. Oh boy. There isn't really much to say about this tip, but it takes a lot of skill to pull off. When you're in a typical match of Fusion, one of two things is going to happen. Number one, your opponent's going to chain immediately and stop around 8 or 13. In this situation, you want to build your board up as high as possible using any technique you're comfortable with, while also watching to see if they'll end their chain. Number two, your opponent will be building for a big chain. If this happens, use the opportunity to go for a harassment. Your opponent will be expecting something along the lines of at least an 8, so surprise them with a cutoff around 5 or 6. If it works successfully, you'll catch your opponent off guard and block their chain. If it doesn't work, they'll counter with possibly more, so just be building after you've done your harassment, just to be safe. Second thing you're going to want to work on to become a Fusion Grandmaster is your speed. Being slow is a big reason why chains end, and sometimes you're going to get unlucky with your pieces, so you're really going to want to drop them quickly to extend your chain. Not only that, but you're going to want to build up with your Tetris side really quickly too, because chances for lines don't come as often as chances for chains. You can practice your speed by going to sprint mode. More importantly though, you need to watch people who are really good play. The key to speed isn't the speed of your fingers. Anyone can do that. The key to speed is the speed at which you can think. So again, watch other people play. And if you really want to, save your replays and compare them to what the pros do. Or, even better than that, save your replays and go to the Fusion Nexus, where you can send in clips that you've played to the video analysis where you can get helpful hints and tips from me.
Another big reason why chains end early on is because you lack resources. A simple way to fix this problem is to use as little resources as you possibly can. Do you see how I'm only popping 4 of these greens instead of all 7? I've just saved 3 extra Puyos. And it might not seem like a lot in the moment, but if you do this during the entire chain, then those numbers will start to add up really quickly. The same thing can be said about the Tetris side. Clear as little lines as possible, and if you have to clear lines, try and make them only 1 line at a time. This is pretty difficult to do with the 3 wide tactic, so I'm going to show you a new way to chain. The new way of chaining that we are going to be discussing is called freestyle. If you aren't sure what that means, it just means that we're going to chain without any sort of form or opening. You aren't going to do well with this at first. I've been practicing this for a good while and I'm still not too great with this style, but is the most efficient way to chain and raises your chances of chaining higher. Because now your pieces aren't designated to one part of the board. They can now go anywhere you want them to. Although, even with this form, you still must remember that you have to leave spaces Puyo free to quickly drop down your Tetraminos. Freestyle not only helps in Fusion mode, but also for both Puyo and Tetris separately, because you aren't just thinking about one form. You can now have your eyes open to the most important part of all puzzle games, the mid-game. I was once told that the mid-game is the entire game, and this is 100% correct. We are now going to be talking about the most difficult trick in Fusion to learn, so pay attention.
In the last tutorial I talked about building while chaining. Today we're going to look at the other method of building called the time trick. And the reason for its name is that when we do this, it continues the chain without us actually having to pop Puyos or clear lines. And if you've watched professionals play before, you've definitely seen this done. This clip right here is going to show us how it's done. Watch closely. Did you catch that? Let's watch it again in slow motion. The reason the timer is stalling is because the game is detecting the Puyos falling constantly. This is important because the timer doesn't decrease when the Puyos fall. It's like the fall pauses the timer. You'll need to tower at least 5 pieces higher than the Puyo/Tetramino on at least one of these sides. This is the most difficult trick to learn in the game, which is why I put it at the end. It'll take a while to understand, so feel free to come back again and watch it. Or join our Discord server and ping a tutor for an even more in-depth explanation. And with that, the Fusion Grandmaster tutorial comes to a close, as well as our final tutorial. If you found the series to be helpful, then tell your friends. By practicing these things, you will become one of the greatest players out there. Before I end the video, I want to add that if you need additional help, we have some great tutors in our Discord server that would be happy to help you out. Not only that, but we also have people to play against and to chat with. It's really cool. I never dreamed that so many people would be interested in this mode. Thank you all for watching. This is Sir Butsalot signing out.